This podcast is going to be amazing. Everybody's going to love it. They're going to feel good energy. We're going to have good energy. And it's going to just be a really fun time. Okay, ready?
Ready. Happy Friday, Mai. How are you doing?
It's been a long day, but I'm really glad to be talking to you.
Me too. I have so much to catch up with you since our last discussion, and it has a lot to do with the speed dating event that I attended the other day. And I wanted to share with you that the results came in, and I was paired up with quite a number of people, mostly for friendship contacts. So you had options to have another date, be a friend, or a business connection, or none at all. Luckily, that didn't happen to me too much, which is interesting in itself because I think I've never been so nervous about something, and I don't really feel like I could do it in person. I don't think speed dating in person is something that I would enjoy because, one, I felt like the time was coming to an end, and my face feels panicked like every time. Like I looked so panicked, as the clock tick down, but I don't know if like speed dating in person, they have a clock.
I think they do.
Oh, it's just nerve-wracking. Anyway, so you're trying to put on your best self in like 5 minutes, but I guess it worked for some people. So I felt like a lot of the people that I paired with, 3 out of 4 have responded, and then 9 out of 10 of my friendship contacts have responded. And maybe I did like a faux pas, and actually when the results came out, I hurried up and emailed everyone. But I guess that's how I feel. Like if I really want to talk to somebody, like why wait on it? You know how like some people say like, oh, if somebody gives you a number, don't text first or wait a few days. Like, why do you have to wait a few days? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Isn't that what is referred to as playing games? You know, you have to wait a certain period before you can contact the other person because you don't want to let them seem like you're so into them and you're desperate.
You know, if you look at like mainstream media, there's absolutely like no, there are like, every so often like a sitcom will say like, oh, you can't be the first one to text and stuff. But people don't want to wait. Like opportunities pass you by quite often from the day to day. Like people don't realize there's a lot of things that happen, and you have to jump on the opportunity. So what I did was I did email everybody and put myself out there. I was like, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? They just ignore my email or whatnot. You don't get their phone number or anything. You just get their email. And so I emailed every single person. I was like, Aloha Friday. Hope you had a great time. I did, and I would love to get to know you more, whether it's for friendship or more, it doesn't matter. I've always enjoyed people and the connection that you build with them. And you had mentioned, we're all energy and we put out a certain vibration into the universe. Surprisingly, I was very, open to talking to new people because I feel like what we need now more than ever is connections to people in other parts of the country or even in the world and see how they're coping with things and what their views are. So I connected with a couple people. I would say some fell into the second date boat, some fell into the friend boat, but all of them are very interesting. They're very, very nice, very sweet individuals. And one person in particular, was very upfront with their current situation. And I can't say that I am looking for the same, but that person I have had hour-long conversations with. We ended up having a FaceTime meeting and we spent 2 hours talking. And it's not like normal for anyone to meet someone and then sit for 2 hours and just talk and never have like awkward silence or interruptions. And we basically talked about everything under the sun. So both of us are big nerds. We love Star Trek. We love talking about life, and we did talk about COVID, we talked about wildfires, and all these different things. And what was really interesting was that, you share so much in common with people, but they could be walking a different path,
Mhm.
like a completely different path. And I was really impressed and thankful for this connection because this person and I continue to talk and text. And, there's no pretense, there's no, we have to go down a certain road because we met at a speed dating event.
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the things that I really am starting to recognize and come around to is that I have made some really amazing connections in my life. And the ones that have stuck around the most always begin this way.
Mm.
It's like you knew each other in a former life. Have you had those experiences? And can you share that?
Um, I do, but before we get too far away from your thing, I just wanted to say that I thought that your email to everybody was amazing follow-up, and that is a skill that not a lot of people have.
Well, I appreciate that, Mai.
And I think that the fact that you reached out to these ladies and they were so impressed, that's like an impressive move actually, is just to be like, hey, I acknowledge that we had this kind of great time and connection. It's like sending out a thank you card. I don't think people do that anymore. They don't send out like thank you cards, or like when you go to a house and your friend's house and you've been there several times, but sometimes you want to bring a gift or you want to bring something to share, and people get confused like, what is this for? I said, well, it's just because you invited me over. I just wanted to bring something nice because you invited me over.
Well, I think a lot of people don't understand that whole concept. I was always raised to bring something to someone's house. Doesn't matter like how many times you've been there or how long you've known that person. It's like bringing a thank you and an appreciation for your generosity, your compassion, your willingness to be in my life. And we don't do that anymore. And I mean, we can't do that right now because of the pandemic, but I felt like, if I was in any situation, even with, let's say, I'm doing a business transaction and we're having, I meet that person, I give them my card, they give me a card. The first thing I do the next day is send them a thank you and say,
Hmm.
no matter what happens from this meeting, I appreciate having you as a connection and hope that in the future we can, come to an agreement or a business deal. And I think society has really pushed us away from that sense of courtesy. I don't really like to say that it's all games, but it is in a sense. And I wish we could come up with another name for it. It's like almost like a charade, right? You want to
Mm.
show that, you're unattainable or you're above something, but really, I mean, what we are lacking, in my opinion, is genuine realness and presence. So, I mean, I appreciate your words, and I think that I put myself, it's a sense of vulnerability too, right? When you send out this
Mhm.
wonderful email, like, thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you, but the time was too short, and I would love to, continue our conversations about food or travels. So, one of the things that I did do is I wrote down the individual's name and what we talked about. Of course,
Mhm.
most of them was about food, but I remembered like the little things they would tell me. Like one
Yeah.
girl is allergic to cheese, and I was like, well, we can talk about cheese, but let's, um, she was saying like she loves this kind of cheese, that kind of cheese, and I'm like, but how do you eat that, So I want to know more. Like somebody who develops an allergy to cheese, like how do you still enjoy cheese? Like,
Mhm.
but it's the little things, and you make it into something fun, like a joke, right? Because then
Mhm.
it's light. I think if you start off a conversation light and happy, it can continue into something beautiful. It can grow into something more deep and beautiful. I think, you come out swinging like some people do. Like they hit these
Mhm.
hard questions, and you're like, I don't really know if that's the path I want to travel down, with you, but um, it's very interesting. I have learned a lot over the past couple days just talking to all these random people, but they live beautiful lives. They're all very successful, and I think they're meant to be in my life, whether it's a short amount of time or a long period.
Mhm. I think you went into it with the right energy. You were I you approached it, "I'm just gonna have a good time." It's kinda like how I set the intention at the beginning of every one of our podcasts, or I try to remember, but you just go in with that intention of, I'm just going to go make some friends. I'm going to have some fun. I'm just talking to people. We'll see where it goes. And you just never know because you hit that chemistry, obviously, with that one woman that you talked to for several hours on FaceTime, and you're still talking to her. So that every relationship, you have to, it's always this conversation. And if there's chemistry and then it builds into a friendship or it can build into something more, it's what you put into it. And I think you went into it with a lot of just, I'm going to be fun. And I think everybody just responded to that. You weren't out there like chasing, you weren't out there like, I'm coming to this to try and meet the love of my life. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure to expect from a 5-minute speed dating session. It's,
Well, I think,
and I think,
yeah, I think
yeah, that's a lot.
most people do go into these things thinking that they're going to find the love of their life, but you know, I want to highlight something you just said. It's the chase. I can personally admit that I have chased and I have pursued, and it has taken so much energy. When I look back now, I'm like, that wasn't worth it because that person never chased me and never wanted
Hmm.
me. And so I think they enjoyed that aspect of it. And so I'm really curious, how many people chase and then they get burned out and then they have to spend time like recuperating. I mean, I've felt exhausted,
Hmm.
emotionally and physically trying to do that. And so when you were right, like when I went into this event, I had no expectations. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show who I am. And who I am is like, I really enjoy traveling. And a lot of the conversations I had, I was like, if you can't talk to me about food, I mentioned that earlier, you can't talk about
Yeah.
food. We have nothing in common, at all. Because I enjoy food and, who doesn't, right? Like you can talk about
Yep.
anything and, asking people what their favorite food is. So I want to ask you, what is your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food. I uh wow. That's a lot. In Hawaii, we have this beautiful mix of all these different cultures. And our food is a mix from all of these different cultures. And I have to say that when I leave, it's the local Hawaii food that I miss the most. From something simple like a spam musubi or a manapua, um, even zippy saimin, which is, these are all kind of Hawaii local dishes. They're the ones that I miss the most. I enjoy Italian food. I enjoy Mexican food. I enjoy a lot of different things. Um, but when it's I've been gone too long, it's like the basics. It's like spam, rice, and eggs, or Portuguese sausage. I love Portuguese sausage over spam, um, but I don't always have that in my freezer.
Spam, rice, and eggs. I don't think people understand how good that is. And every time I talk about spam now, people like turn their noses up to me, and I'm like, don't knock it till you try it. Like a bit of pan fried spam with some really sticky rice with some gooey eggs. Like, hello, cholesterol, but hello, my happy heart. Like, you know,
Yeah,
life's too short to just always deprive yourself of some good things. I'm not saying like eat that every day,
no,
but at least enjoy what makes you happy. Like deep down in my soul, I know that I should not eat My sister-in-law made this like double fudge Oreo crusted whipped cream or Cool Whip pie. And I swear I should not have eaten that after what we had eaten before, but I was going to make myself sick because it was worth it. And I have to tell her it was worth it. So, um, you know, I just think it's amazing what connections we develop with people through common interests or uncommon interests. I mean, how many people out there really like Star Trek and are willing to talk almost an hour and a half about it and really dive into characters and utopian society that it presents and what the world would be like if we were all Starfleet, you know, academy graduates or and one of the things I thought was really funny, and I'm going to share this with you because I know you've seen some of these shows, is that we talked about the people on the decks, right? The lower decks. There's actually a sitcom now called Star Trek: The Lower Decks. But what I think is so funny is that on every show, the bridge is like massive hull breach from decks 7 through 16, and I was like, so everybody on 7 through 16 just died, and like, you know, there's only like 200 to maybe 500 personnel. So you've lost like 20 to 40% of your personnel in one sentence. And I'm like, there comes a time, a place and time where you should just say, hey, probably shouldn't lose that many Star Trek crew members. You know, like maybe we shouldn't go into that black hole and end up 400 years in the future and then everything's messed up. I just think it's really funny, and that was one thing we laughed about for quite a while, and it may be nerdy, it may be weird, but it's just funny how things get written in TV shows and people get written off so easily. You're like, wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
what just happened? Oh, P.S.
They weren't main
Half the
characters.
cast died. They were not. They're so from now on, I'm just gonna call anybody insignificant in any TV show or movie from the lower decks.
Mm. That's really
Like,
good.
like they're just the lower decks. Bummer.
Or they're just an extra.
They are just an extra. Hey, I haven't tried those mushrooms yet from Costco.
Oh,
Those
you
dried
gotta you have to videotape it.
shiitake mushrooms. I am. I think I'm going to record my mom and I'm going to record myself and see what reactions come out of it because you have told me so much about it. And they're just looking at me and I'm like, all right, we're going to try you. Now, it was really funny to stand in the store in Costco and say,
Uh-huh.
hey, Mom, let's get some mushrooms. Let's try these mushrooms. I heard Miley said there's such a trip. I think we got so many stare downs from people. So,
Uh,
note to self in the future, don't scream out. Let's try these mushrooms. They're such a trip. No.
they're so good.
Are
They're
they? They don't
addicting.
look that great.
They're addicting.
You think it's the
Uh,
texture?
it's hard. It's crunchy. It's like crispy, hard.
I'm going to try it when I get off this conversation.
Okay.
And yeah,
Just promise you'll videotape it. Yeah.
I promise I will try to
Just for
videotape
yourself.
this.
Just for
Just for
yourself
myself.
and for me. We won't you doesn't have to put it anywhere because there's plenty of people who've done it on YouTube already, but I promise
Yeah,
you'll
but it might
just
be
want to
funny.
remember it.
It might be funny to like, put it up there and just reminisce of my adventures.
But then you go and you have fun and you make other family members try it.
Okay. We can do like a
And then you videotape them
compilation.
too.
Yeah, we'll do like a
Yes.
compilation. Try this mushroom. Um, First of all, people are gonna be like, is it like a hallucinogen or are you gonna make me crazy? And I'll be like, yes, just try. So
Shiitake is not known for that,
not
but
yet,
maybe there's a variety we don't know.
maybe. So I don't know. I thought they were making mushrooms legal now.
Hmm.
Well, these mushrooms are
I mean, I
100%
feel
legal.
like if things just grow on the ground or grow from the ground, cannabis, mushrooms, I think that they should just be nature and they should be allowed.
Yeah, I think people just have a problem with it because it just makes you act a certain way or whatnot. But there's plenty of cultures that have been using this stuff medicinally for quite a while, and so yeah. So waste not, what not, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, back to connections. I think that I've had some really interesting connections lately. Um, for a while
Mhm.
there, I had shut them all out because I felt like, I wasn't ready. But now I'm ready to at least make some friends, and it's nice to more friends. I have plenty of friends, but more friends. And like I said, if it's temporary or if it's a thing that might last a long time, we're both benefiting in the end. You benefit from a connection, you know,
Mhm.
and it's hard for some of us to recognize when that connection has gone bad and you start to change, but
Mhm.
never allow it to change who you are is the lesson that I've learned is that sometimes things happen for a reason and you got to embrace it. I mean, I didn't have to go to this speed dating thing, but I ended up doing it because a friend pushed me to do it and it turns out it is very entertaining right now. The people that I'm talking to.
I'm really glad that you had that experience, and I'm glad that you're making new friends. I don't think you can have enough friends. I've had been very lucky to have friends, they come into your life and they don't always last because whatever that you came together for, you've learned your lessons together and everyone just keeps growing. They keep growing, they keep expanding. We can't stop learning. And eventually you find that you guys grow in different directions, and that's totally okay. I have friends from childhood, friends that I knew for more than half my life, and we don't even talk anymore. But I know that they're okay. I know that they've gone in a different direction, and I'm happy for them. But I don't feel like there's a way for us to really connect in any kind of meaningful way at this point in our lives, just because we're in two different uh, times in our life, I guess. Uh, Evolvement, maybe. I don't want to say evolvement. Evolution. Evolution is probably a better word of where we just are. Um, and that's absolutely fine. And I'm grateful for those times that I had with lots of different friends over my lifetime. And I look forward to meeting new friends all the time. You're always just be open because the universe can surprise you with who they bring to you.
Well, I think, one of the things you said was, people are on different or people are at different stages of their evolution and who they're identifying with or what they're identifying with. And I find that, something that resonates with me is just I'm having a renewal or rebirth. My life, I always like to say, I've pivoted, Have you ever seen that Friends video where they're trying to carry that couch up the stairs
Mm.
and they're like, pivot.
Oh, yeah, pivot.
Pivot. That's how I feel right now.
Oh
Like I'm trying to
my
pivot around and carry this huge couch by myself. But once I get
God.
around that corner, it's pretty easy after that. So there's just been some interesting things that have happened, and I'm learning from it. I've also learned that once you start to fall, your life is pretty much over. So the other day, I fell down a flight of stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told a friend of mine, and she was like, "You do realize that once you start to have episodes of falling in your history,
Mm-hmm.
like you're going
Mm-hmm.
downhill." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm late 30s and I'm falling and my and because in your medical history you have to say, have you had a traumatic fall or have you fallen in the past 6 months to a year?" And I have to check the yes box. I fell. Have you ever been asked that?
I have not ever seen that.
Oh yeah.
But okay, wait. I've had like so many injuries in high school. I used to play volleyball and I've fallen and sprained my ankle at least 3
I
times.
think this is more like as you reach a certain age, as you start to have more documented falls, witnessed falls, we like
Okay.
to call them, your life starts to go downhill.
Witness
Isn't that
falls.
so
That sounds
sad?
so medical.
I know, right? Documented,
Terminal.
witnessed, unwitnessed fall. I'm like, I had an unwitnessed fall, but do my dogs count? Like, they saw me bust it, and it hurt. I'm going to tell you what,
Don't
it
those
hurt.
Apple Watches record when you fall?
I don't wear an Apple Watch, so mine was a actually technically it was an unwitnessed fall, and like those I felt like when I hit the bottom of the stairs, like that commercial, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Like I think I told my dogs that, like as I laid there contemplating my life, watching my life flash before my eyes, I realized
Uh-huh.
I had fallen. Then when I sought like, medical expertise and comfort, they basically were like, when you have an unwitnessed or witnessed fall and it has been documented, you literally are like going downhill. So everyone, I am going downhill. I fell down those stairs. Anyway, I thought that was like a little bit humorous, and I wanted to share that with you as a kind of a follow up to our conversation about falling. And yeah, so when you reach a certain age and you have those falls, just get ready for everything to go downhill. It's like a snowball effect.
Downhill can be fun though. Downhill can be fun. You just gotta stay on the first floor
Have
and
some padding.
just
Eat more
have
food.
some padding. I didn't ask though, but you were carrying clothes. You were carrying like 3 bags of clothes. Did you land on
No,
them?
absolutely not. Like, out of
No?
everything that I could land on, my right heel struck tile. Everything else was like, boom, boom. Like it was a weird fall. Like you start to see everything in
Uh-huh.
slow motion. You're hoping that your body mechanics and physics and gravity will all like come together as a team and cushion you all the way down because you have soft things like bags of clothes to catch you. No. I think
Uh-huh.
my body took the one
No.
opportunity to find that open hole and was like, guess what? You are about to get injured and all your heavy ass weight will fall onto this one foot. So I've been limping around
Oh
like
no.
I'm legit looking when I need to like look for that cart to push me around the grocery store. My mom was
The drivable
yeah, my
ones?
mom was like, "Do you want to get a boot or something or a cushion?" I was like, "No, we haven't reached that point yet, but it hurts. Everything hurts now, my everything hurts."
You're not indestructible teenager
No, I'm not
anymore.
instructable
That's those days are
20s,
gone.
early 30s. Shit, I'll take mid 30s. Nope, late 30s. Ugh.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You just gotta see the easy path going forward.
My body took the one
It
open
it's
path.
there.
I guess it thought that was the easy path, but the easy path was to land on all the clothes and laugh and not see my life flash before my eyes and then contemplate my situation. Nope, nope. My dogs were so unhelpful. They just like sniffed me a little bit, sneezed on me, and then walked away. Like they were disgusted by the motion of Tais ocean coming down the stairs. It was awful. It was awful. I do not wish them a good
Did
meal.
any of your military training help you? Did you have to like crawl on the ground to like get to something to pull yourself up or
No, have you noticed like people who or have told you like stories about how they've injured themselves without any witnesses? Like they lay there for a while and think about all the things they've done that have led up to this moment. And I did that. I
no.
literally just turned over and was like, everything hurts. What just happened? How did I get here? And I've had situations where I've like been seriously injured, and I think the first thing I think of is, can I feel my legs? Do I
Mhm.
still have feeling?
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes when I say that, I'm like, okay, am I really going numb to things? Like, I have to ask if I have feelings. Like, how am I feeling right now? At one time I hit my head on that boat that was moving while I was in the ocean, was like, literally, do I still feel? Like, why do we ask ourselves that? I don't know why. Why does our life flash before our eyes with near death experiences? Is it like regret? Is it something else? I don't know.
I wonder if it's like a checkup to see if you've
Check
done all
up.
the things buff that you meant to do. It's like a brain check. It's like a scan, you know. I see this part of my life and that part. Oh, I didn't do that. Okay, I must live because I didn't do this
Right?
yet. Then I
It's a
can go.
checkup. I like that. I think that recap. You know how like you have like you're watching a
Hmm.
show and it's like previously on, you know, and it's like, okay, you've had a
Yep.
traumatic experience. You've fallen from a flight of stairs. Previously on Ty's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. But is it life changing in that moment? I mean, you said that you
I could have
learned
died.
that rushing is you should not rush.
I could have
Yeah.
died. You ever think about
You
that?
could have if you hit
Like,
your head.
yeah. So I'm like, all right.
I've I've heard about that. People have died falling down the
So you call it a
stairs.
checkup, I call it a recap. Like previously
Recap.
on. And are you making the right decisions? Well, I will tell you that it was successful getting rid of a bunch of things and purging life, but I did contemplate my life a little bit, so that was fun.
Okay. That was probably all that the universe wanted to tell you. You apparently weren't listening when it told you to slow down, right? They say that you'll get a couple warnings, slow down, a tap on the shoulder. Then that time you just got to
I
push
know
on the
somebody
back.
literally pushed me down the stairs. That's how I feel. I got
They were
I got
like,
a
"You better
hard
stop.
shove.
Stop rushing." Crazy.
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 Well,
I have one weird thing that I want to tell you.
all right.
I had a scorpion in my house.
What?
We don't have these in
How did you get a
Hawaii.
scorpion?
I mean, okay, I looked it up after. Apparently, there is like some kind of scorpion that made it to Hawaii and it's an invasive species, but I've never seen one like at my house. And my brother had something delivered to our house because his house is under construction. So it was like a vanity or something that he had ordered from the mainland. And I was like, "Oh my god, did this scorpion come with the all the way from the mainland?" I was a little freaked out about it. And we caught it and put it in a jar and I dissolved it with vinegar.
What? Why did you use vinegar?
Yeah. I looked it up and it's something that they can become very pests. They're pests, right? And they're invasive to Hawaii, so you can't keep them alive.
How did you end up finding that?
It was just in the garage crawling around. I swear it was headed for the
Oh
shoes.
yeah, they love shoes.
Like there was a stack of shoes on the yeah, I think it was headed for it was in the open space. Happened to turn on the light and there it
You might want
was.
to check all your
And I
shoes
had
before you put
jars.
them on, because we have, where I am, we have a ton of bugs and creepy crawlies, and we talked about the roaches, so
Mhm.
yeah.
I would take a roach over a
Well,
scorpion.
yeah, they are poisonous. They are certainly.
I would also take a cockroach over. No, I would also take a big flying cockroach over a giant cane spider or even a little cane spider. I hate cane spiders.
Tap 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 tap. Hold on.
Okay,
What
no
does it sound
more.
like? Sounds like
No more.
this.
Terrible.
Oh man.
That's like nightmares. Okay. So that was my last story. That wasn't my funny story. I'll have to save that for another time. But that was a scary story. We're gonna end on
Yeah.
that.
So no scorpions in Hawaii, please. Don't send any more stuff on the
No, we're
mainland.
please.
They don't need it.
Yeah. I have to go. It is my mommy's birthday today, so I'm gonna go celebrate. And I'm gonna go have. I think we're having steak tonight. We're gonna grill. I'm very excited about that. And chantilly cake, which I don't think you guys ever have on the mainland.
I don't think so. I think my mom can make one, but I don't. I think it's a very rare occasion. So, we'll tell your mom happy birthday from us.
I will.
And mahalo for joining us. And if you're interested in our next session of My Ties at Sunset, please check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and mytiesatsunset.com. Also, check us out anywhere you find your favorite podcasts. Happy Aloha Friday.
Happy Aloha Friday, and until we talk again, ahui ho.